Keep on going, yeah?
But yeah,
Within a few weeks?
Within a few weeks I could go up a ladder onto the roof, no problem. No shakes, no, I wasn't worried about anything. And public speaking, I went all over the country. And it didn't matter. I went to Luton, and I spoke in a hall, and there must have been a couple of hundred people in it. And I said, I don't care whether it's 20 or 200, 2,000, it doesn't make any difference. I can speak now, no problem.
Unbelievable.
You know, and I was terrified. Honestly, I was absolutely terrified of public speaking. Don't know why, because it's just everyday talk, but I think people are frightened of criticism and stuff, you know, but no, it's no problem.
This is unbelievable.
She's cured me from all my, and I mean, some of the prayers are instant, you know. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. I mean, Father Chima's finding that now. The priest that's with us, he 7 hours from us leaving Glasgow, he was in Liverpool, which is a couple of 100 miles away in England. And I'd written him off. I said, I told the hotel, I said, he's not coming. But he got here, and he had all his visas, and he wanted to celebrate Mass. I said, you can't even go on the altar. I said, you need to celebrate from your bishop to tell you that you're genuine. I said, because we've had people here on the altar that weren't priests. I said, and that's why they're so particular. He said, look, it's on my phone. Now he came, we came on Sunday, and on Wednesday he was a main celebrant. And I mean, usually you've got to book it months and months in advance. I spoke to a priest today from England, and he said, I've been trying for years to get on the altar. He said, it's all booked up. Yet Father Chima came, and within 3 days on the altar, main celebrant. Miracles. Everyday miracles.
You pray the rosary day?
Every day.
Why?
We sat in there. My wife can do it in Croatian. And the cleaners were all looking because could hear us saying it in their own language, you know.
Scottish Croatian?
Yeah, they loved it. Yeah, every day in life.
Why do you pray that?
Because it's a prayer that Our Lady asked for. You know, this is an ancient prayer that goes back, and the reason is it's so repetitive because people in the early days couldn't read or write, so there was no written word. So beads, you know, so they can count on the beads. That's why they use it, the rosary, and it's a very, very powerful prayer. And people find it repetitive. And I know I watch people during the rosary. A chap came today that was in our group. Margaret and I were sitting over there on the sofa saying the rosary, and he sat. He said, "Can I just sit and listen?" I said, "Yeah." The next minute I looked, it was like ecstasy. He'd gone. The power of the prayer is incredible. And that's why, I mean, we're taken back between us. We have a girl that makes rosary beads for us, and I've got about 55 pairs of rosary beads to take back. All the girls have got bags of rosary beads. We take them back. We don't charge. We give them away, and get people praying. It's a fantastic prayer, and it's easy. It's easy said. You know, it's not a prayer that people get bored with it. You know, and it's like a conversation with your mother. You know, you're talking. You know, and if you rattle through it, it means nothing. I mean, no disrespect, but Irish people do rattle through it. You know, and it's supposed to be said. You know, a heartfelt prayer from the heart, and it works. It's genuine, and we do it because Our Lady asked for it. You know, she asked for the 5 stones. The rosary's in amongst them, and it's an easy prayer that anybody could say. So you know, that's the reason we do it. We do it on a daily basis.
Unbelievable.
You know,
and for you, like coming from the Church of England, what is the beauty about the Catholic faith for you then?
It brings, look, what used to fascinate me, all we knew about the Holy Family, you saw them on a Christmas card. Mary, Joseph and Jesus. That's the only time we saw them together. We didn't know nothing about them. And my wife used to, in the early days, she'd say, "Oh, that's St. Joseph, he's a patron saint of workers." I said, "How do you know that?" You know, and she said, "It's our faith." And I was fascinated. You know, I was fascinated by it. There's just so much that we didn't know. You know, all these faiths in England. You've got Baptists. You've got the there's so many different ones. Methodists especially. Now it's all Catholic faith, but they take out what they don't want. The confession. No, I don't want that. Daily prayer. Daily Eucharist. No, we don't need that. Once a month's fine. You know, they've thrown out what they don't want. All of them say the creed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I spoke to someone the other day and they said, I heard a Protestant service and they say the creed. I said, yeah, because what other prayers have they got? All the prayers are Catholic based. You know, so that they say it. I said that all the faith, they've just taken out what they don't want, got rid of it. They've moulded it to suit themselves. You know, and I was just interested to get back to the basics.
The real thing.
Yeah, it's back to the real prayer. And I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, I wasn't always enthusiastic about it. And I used to go get bored in Mass like everybody else, you know, counting the tiles on the roof and everything else, and saying, I hope he's not that long with his sermon. But then one day it just all clicked. Now, it's clicked so much that during the lockdown, Margaret and I used to join in 12 masses a day. 12 masses a day for 2 years. We did it. You
That's
know,
why you shine so much.
we had them all over the world. We got them from Manila. The masses in the Philippines are fabulous. We used to tune into them. Then we'd tune into one maybe in Glasgow. Then we'd go to the States and tune into some of them. Fantastic. You know, it was brilliant. People say, you know, you must be nuts, but it's because we enjoy it. And that's a gift. That's a gift that God gives you. If the faith is strong enough, nothing's boring and nothing's too long. You know, I could sit through masses. You know, when I go to Walsingham, which is a shrine in England, I go through 5 masses a day. You know, and I enjoy every minute of it. I could sit there all day. It's beautiful. And when people used to say that to me here, in 1994 we had a girl that used to go into that St. James's Church with a flask of tea or a flask of juice and a sandwich and an apple and sit through every single Mass. Croatian, German, Italian, English. And she loved it. And she got it from her mother because her mother did the same thing. And she used to say to her mother, you go in the church, Mum, I'm not going in. But her mother's prayers worked and she went. You know, I'll tell you another brilliant story about when we came here. There was a taxi driver called Joseph, leather jacket, greasy, spiked hair. He got in the car and he played rock music, Bat Out of Hell from Meatloaf, really loud. And I said, Joseph. And he used to say, English music good. And I went, now his dad used to go to 7 o'clock Mass, Croatian Mass every day and pray for him. I met him a couple of years later and I didn't notice him because he was standing with a suit on. And I said, Joseph? And he went, yes. I said, taxi. I got a taxi with him. All Medjugorje hymns. All Medjugorje hymns. Now his dad was praying for him every day and it converted him totally.
Totally, I can confirm it. I met him in the taxi.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah,
absolutely.
Fantastic.
Can I ask you, for you, like maybe there are people listening who don't know God. What is God for you? God the Father. We talk about Jesus, we talk about Mary. God the Father.
God the Father is the man that gives you your life plan, right? People say, why can't you stop this? Why can't you do that? Say, look, when you're born, you're given a life plan. Now this is when you're born, when you die. Now what happens in between mainly is up to yourself. But there's certain things that can be averted. You can pray. If you have an illness, you can maybe pray and it'll go. But there's certain things that you can't. Sometimes people pray and they say nothing happened. You can't interfere with God's plan. You know, He's got a life plan for each of us, and we have to accept that. And this is what a lot of people don't accept. He's got a life plan for each and every one of us. And along that life plan, things will happen. You'll get into trouble. You'll maybe fall ill. And if it's God's will, you'll recover. You'll get better. But a lot of the times, the people don't. They die. And people get upset about it. But that's God's plan. He takes you from this life into the next. He's got something else up there for you, you know. And it's just he's the man. He's the man in charge, you know. And his mum, our Lady, and Jesus are intermediaries. We go through them. The reason a lot of people go through the mother, and Father Sweat used to say it here. You go and you ask your dad for something, and he goes no. You ask him again, no. So you go to your mother, and she's a bit more sympathetic. She'll do things for you. And it's the same with Our Lady. You know, if people just remember that she's not divine, she can't read your mind. You've got to tell Our Lady what you want in life, and she'll listen. She'll listen to you because she's there. Because she said to me in one of my prayer meetings, she said, when you pray the rosary, I'm there beside you. She said, now if you go into your house and you shout your mother, what happens? Your mother comes to you. You start praying the rosary, you're calling Our Lady. She comes to you. She comes to you.